Gela, please tell us your name.
Gela Tsensungrona
Jampa Thinlay.
Jampa Thinlay.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama asked us to record your experiences so that we can share your memories with many generations of Tibetans, the Chinese, and the rest of the world. Your memories will help us to document the true history, culture, and beliefs of the Tibetan people. Do you give your permission for the Tibet Oral History Project to use this interview?
Gela Konsuchogi in Kalapebananshi Manzu Galagi Mitsi Nyamyongoyo Chungyo Bachiorwa Dunzulani Tizu Chigiore Tari and Lugu Dintine and Pumi Mira Mangota and Gamiri and Zambulingi Mimangi and Sigula Shate Lugu Dinzune and Pögi Gerapta Rishu Moyo Kari Medi Kendo Yungure and Taringanzu Delea Pögi Gun Gerab Legul Digi Galagi Taringanzulea Lugu Sumbadi Peju Tangagi Chokchen Nangirwa. Yes, of course.
Thank you for offering to share your story with us. During this interview, if you wish to take a break or stop at any time, please let me know. If you do not wish to answer a question or talk about something, let me know.
Karo chi suna digi yorela. And yan tiwa kashe la len kyundu mengen dinde yona ma len gyabgi men sungshana digi yor.
Gela, if this interview was shown in Tibet or China or around the world, would this be a problem for you?
Kesi tharing tiwa tilen cheba de nganzu gi pyo da gyana da zamling na tembi yina. Ane gyana la kange ke tigres. Why would there be any problem for me?
Okay. Don't know.
So I'm 84 years old and there's no way that I will go back to Tibet.
We are honored to record your story and appreciate your participation in this project. Gela, I would like to begin by asking you a little bit about your childhood. Where were you born and who was in your family?
Tambu gozuya la ni Gala Tungsa Tungyul di Ming Kareres.
Tawu.
Tawu Gala Ginalia Nami Kazuyana Gala Chinju in Bekablaya.
Chinchu Assemble Tanman that Nomi Mambu Yore. The Mat Pera Chem, the Tatamba Pera Gini.
I was born in Tawu, and there were many members in my family, but I cannot recall the number now.
And what kind of occupation did your parents have, your mother and your father?
Gelagi pala amala konambagi chale karinangiore di kabla.
Zichare, Zimbabwe.
They were farmers.
Farmers. And was the area you were growing?
All amalachi. Then Azong Year. Akuchi, Akutuk Tabare. Akut Gumbali. The Julanga is Chimbuchati, then Akuchal Tabat, Mother Tabat.
There were two maternal uncles and a paternal uncle who was a monk and lived in the monastery. And when I grew older, I went to join my paternal uncle as a monk.
How old were you when you joined your uncle in the monastery?
Gela agu tava de zalia tava soga pera. Did Gela Konglu Kazuzre?
Papa is that. Look, that's it. That's the
Law?
Look, that's the end of it. That's the
I might have been about 10 when
Sira
I
mandu.
became a monk, but I'm not very sure.
About 10. Was that something you wanted to do, or did your parents take you to the monastery?
잡았어야디 겐라기 되버치는 수이나 야 파메기 공발파 티침브레.
나는 다 가바지 안도가 가보여. 근데 아까 잘된 아까로 접지 중이지 되봤지. 원래 7년간 로로 와. 7년 동안 신샤야 동안 자조로 와. 내반도 보게서 동안에 되어 말로. 어떤 적이 있더니 마음에 부유됐을라 간덕이 단다 간덕이 좀 되는 데시아도 아까부터 주가는 게
I wanted to become a monk, and I wanted to serve my uncle because there were works like cutting up firewood and preparing tea, which I used to do for my uncle. And thanks to what I learned at that time, now I am able to recite my mantras.
Where did you go? Which monastery did you go to serve your uncle?
And gyalagi agula zalaya ta chale nangal pebra thaba di komba khadirela.
Tawu 냠쓰고 Tawu 냠쓰고 Trapa 셋 지통 부자요
Thaba. The monastery was called Tawu Nyamse Gompa, and there were 1,900 monks in it.
And so you were a servant for your uncle. Did he give you teachings, or where did you learn the spiritual text from?
Dikablaya gyala agulagi ta yobuta gyun shuguyorwala. Agulagi chulaki yore ya gyalagi ta chugi lobjong di khane cheiro.
다들 아그런게 다 각각 강한이 아그게 람네 다 이게 대체 답자로 로싱에도 단다 컨덕이 좀 신야도 강가 아그게 답자게
It was my uncle who taught me right from the alphabet up to what I am able to recite now these days. Everything was taught by my uncle.
Gayla, can you give us some idea of how a young boy is trained? What are some of the steps he goes through as he learns his prayers and the teachings of the Buddha?
다 부부친주지 공배나리야 잡아 주기로와라 부친주지 아니 보디 다 당보 다 가가 강하네 야랍 거와 아니 칸데 치니야 다 낭베 치 라비아디 림베 칸데 치니 림바 두기요레사
다음에 마다 이게 대신 뭐만 이게 제여 장치어데 이게 제 마터다 대지 리바두다네 아니 다 컨데 대지 비자드 대진 셰르 마다지 제 동분네 가가강가 지동도 이게 강가 동분인데 다분도와
디제라 당보 가갈랍 아니 디제라
아니 요 코좀 내지 우리 따야데 신고로 야마 디제네
디네 아니 베자
되네 배자들 그런 맨데 다시 야마 되시디 돈이 배자네 유요 바른데 올로네 수수 배자네 발로제 유요가 발로제네 다수수 가린 댕기나 가리시나
So, though I was taught to read and write, I wasn't very good at it, so I just about learned to memorize the mantras. But normally, a boy would be first taught the alphabet, and then how to form words, and then religious scriptures were available, and then he had to read from that.
When you were memorizing the words in the beginning, did you understand what they meant? Were you taught what they meant at that time, or were you taught that later?
Tanda chunju galaya demba nganzu ngakto la simya ji yorwa ngakto simdu kane ngakto simya gi demba di deshi gyabgi re gi gengi yang tagas ngakto le ya juni deshi me ba
on deshi de gyag ma be susu ge san tong de cha ma ko na 인증이 다리 가리 람나 될 사비아도 손이 마톨 주테고로 대 주테 야포테 터선에 되는 사파사고로
So no explanations were given for the words that were memorized. Whatever you read today, tomorrow you had to, recite it out to your teacher the next day, and then he would teach whatever was taught the next day. You had to memorize and then recite it to him the following day.
And when would you begin to get some understanding of what the words meant?
Ta ngak to la ran sim ni shugu yorwa gela. Ta ngak to la sim dedu gane ta chik dunju gi thenda khari yeme di ni khadyu chine susu go chuya go chuguna.
Ta 치요 강강 것도 두고 말해 말었다. 당원이 질dob장 중에 계시도 썼다 거 추기와 강갑다. 아주 치까지 단 거 추기까지. 배나지. 성지세도 가리를 심지어 탐제세도 가리를 썼다 단거 추기와. 다도 추는 배요 댄스부터 너무서 네 다투 맞다 가리는 하고 맞다. 다도 날려는 댄지를 맞다지. 근데 많이 댄지 많이 엄마 배면 홍세 엄마 배면 홍기 치드 가리네. 럽투요 이제 제도 말아 맞아.
So not everybody understood everything that we memorized. It is only the philosophical degree holders, the geishas, who understood everything. And of course, but there are certain words like Buddha or sentient beings, that we understand when we read, but we do not know, very deeply about the, Buddha Dharma. And there is the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, but if someone asks you to define it, I wouldn't be able to do that. We just memorize and then recite.
Mm-hmm. Are there any Buddha teachings that you find very important for you to practice or to keep in mind, or that your heart likes to have an awareness about?
The sangegi number sangegi church yorwa di nalya ane gyala gi jik kechushu dabuji ane kari choguyuna sido.
다 개치쇼 동아서 삼바 송부지야 다 개치쇼래. 근데 매일 로바지 맡나라 다 눈맞지 눈맞지가 터시. 제가 어떻게 개치쇼래.
So I believe that the most important thing is to be compassionate, and then even if you are not able to help somebody, don't harm him.
예미 공탈렌도 지금 밀로누 경험기 메세 메또 메통고는 주 지나면 비가 안 가는 프로든지 다 걸리도 더나를 갖고 있지 좀 스페인. 잠벌이 지도 만들어 놓고 리가다.
So when the Chinese came, they killed, they plundered, they imprisoned. They are the real devils, unlike anybody in this world.
Mm-hmm. So what are your feelings towards the Chinese these days?
Gyalagi ta tarinsa gyamila chowa khandida yungudwele.
단점선 동태는 담아서기 장문이 전에 다 거다 무드도 주바리 선전전전이 앞에 다 건좀 고치도 고치 진이기 지조를 맞도 망이 출루강이 맞도 부발강이 칸데로 봐. 단 골드는 고치 진이지 다 저저저도 고치 알아빠면이다. 마쇼기 접종도 배슈 침비지. 다 되게 다른 짓을 간 같더니 루콘으로 루저고요. 그다가 전부터 저 대중이 다 고마도 쓰여 좀 벌레는. 그래서
You know, at times I feel, you know, they are our enemy, the devils. But when I think, you know, at times I feel that it's not the majority of the Chinese. You know, the majority, they like the Dharma, they like Tibetans, but it's only a few of their leaders, you know, who have communist ideology, one or two of them, you know, who are like that. And you know, there's nobody in the world, you know, who would destroy holy idols like them.
When is the first time? Well, I guess I want to go back to your early life in the monastery. How many years was your life peaceful in the monastery? For how long?
Gela thangi ta gomba nala pheswa. Ani gomba nala ya ta shidil thingja chini lok hajus tak shuya raire.
다 재미 말때부터 다 지금 무시했다. 만sol이 지도 사연 통한 배우지. 어때 만sol이 지요 말에. 다 재미 때문에 편제들 때문에 두부정 거기 둘이 방법 뭐고 비샤예. 때 근데 동반을 내고 해서 알리 파트에서 좀 다중한테 라파에서 올 때라고 해서 때 총바들 당야 동간 내가 예 되는 지. 다 줄때 거기서 라야다 따다 다 브라도 소자로. 담아긴 제네스에서도 소지다 강가 거기서 오면 다지. 근데 군반은 근데 살때 줘서 그 지다 오면 되니 야나를 마케. 줄가지요 주디 롱무 지때지 존이 당당하도 가사기 라무지 주우데 말이야. 주우데 데들 라마 세서 그송 라마 그송 세마 라마 지간지 야나라 주디롬이 세대 뜻이데 야나라 지고지 팬도와 라마지 주우도 그또 그메 가갑선데 그 루콘은 도세게
Lukhangsna.
루잡사 무슨 루제사
Missing Lugyasa.
응
Lugyasa lana kare.
그 무슨 때 잘라간가 루 두콘은 또 무슨 루니 또 조요 간가 매파 차고요 되게 그렇게 가지 속에 내신다 조요 어떤 라무지 주 생지 매접은 주고 배 송정 시부라 텔라마드 괜찮네 데 자나네 야 던지수지라 데 돌로말 펜 뭐 고도 제 코메드 가바이네 요 사간돈 데 고도 코메 녀자 라도 라네 야 던지수데 단다 가살은 제지 용에도 왔다 데 자신 버치 되어요 대목 주는 뭐지 던지수야 다른데 왔다 또 꿈속에 던지수 tum도 왔는데 다 맞다
So everything was happy and peaceful until the arrival of the Chinese. You know, we had plenty to eat and we were very happy. And then when they came, you know, they started to deceive the people and they lent thousands of boxes of money to the traders. And the Chinese used to say, you know, first we need to give them and then we can take it back. And later that came true, you know. Very holy idols from the monasteries were shipped to China. For example, there was a very holy Lama, and during the leniency of religious freedom, he had gone to China, and there he found a part of the Ramuche Cho of Lhasa at a recycling plant. And then, you know, he went looking for the other half part of the statue, and then he was able to find it, and then he brought these two parts back to Lhasa, and now it's reinstalled there. And thankfully, you know, they were not able to take away the other Cho's holy Cho statue.
So, when is the first time you heard about the Chinese? Were you a little boy, a young man? When's the first time you knew that the Chinese were coming into Tibet?
Gala gami pele yungu yoris labni dikablarwa. Gala bugu chunju re ding ding dabuji yore kandere lo yatsile tsare.
dhayen na shira shaya mundu da. Shichang tazi tazi shaya mundu.
Tanda nganzu pe ngabju ngagui lo le ya ta tamashor ni nganzu tsu chue yongdu tudu rwala.
Chuyong ti ngalo simje tambal te yirta. Simje tamba tata la nga jagal te.
Le ta dingon la.
Ta tingun li tasa le yongni. Ma tasa mayong kani jemi de te yu sa yu sangi to. Tete tasa le lo sim teni payil machi lo re. Teni re, teni jemi ten te che tegi teni nga ya chuto yung.
Chasa gomba kawa.
Gaden Jangtse Monastery.
So I was 30 years old when I fled to India, and I had been 3 years at the Gaden Monastery in near Lhasa.
Okay.
So the Chinese came before I left for the Gaden Monastery.
Okay. When I said, and 3 years before he was in Gangdrug.
56, early, before 56.
Before 56. He was at Gangdrug, right?
The Chinese arrived. He was in Gaden.
Let's just say it out loud.
Okay, so I was 30 when I fled to India in 1959,
Oh,
that is.
okay.
So earlier to that, 3 years I was in Gaden Monastery.
Okay.
And the Chinese arrived in my region before I left for Gaden.
What happened to you, to the monastery where you, what happened to you when the Chinese arrived?
The gami gyala gi lungbe na la lerwa and dikabla gyala namba so khari chungso gyala la khari chungso.
Tombul tete ta kechi hamar ko tam kangalungo ko chong zan jambu ki jayorwa. Ko thasa le ten thasa de san teni dur tom kangal me pazorwa. Mata.
Nothing happened initially when they came, because they were so peaceful. It was only after they had conquered Lhasa that it started.
Temu go izene bo tongya ge chazi shira che. Kunjol le pego yo san. Te jin memong ge jin tong yo ma. Te pegene sobanyo yamel la sobanyo de yorite. Yamin no lo ngato pozang te kuda traut and no lo. No pos izene bolo magang yo marwa. Izene bo chujin on de mendo mata ya bo mendo san. Then Pena izene bolo ta churung judim ten chukonro long tarwa. Chukonro long ta jamila jamanda jane pege titon ha titon de. Titon le jamiga mage jere. Richi kopala saton de ne ri kopana tikje.
Su rikobana sur.
Jami mamet. O de ngato ta te khatsaga chujin izene ba chujin na. Izene ba chujin na de ngato ta tate 야부동 맨다 야부 용에 같이 하나 사드 용냐지 되네 배우는데 이제 배수가 생명하다 다 돌루지 요 전에 맨다다 야부지 다 주는 로에 명이지 당아 된 로지라 마서 다 야부도 맨다 용에도 야부 용에도 배수를 되네 들 돌도 전화 아주 강간 제가 동경이 있어 돌도 맞았나 근데 제가 라카부치를 눈판매가 나르노선에 된데 된 됐어. 된 제가 더 지지가요. 자다겠다. 자다기 주게 나와. 자다기 주게 나온데 그 야부 정도 맞다. 이제는 뭐 집게 나네 된데 Then you might see needs in the region. Jamie get in the bullion column. Trapa your memang your pan. Make your young dinner. That is in the bottom of it. Is in the book pay of how go your mother. What that make your young, make your to gave me the second house song. Make them that gentleman get. The bullion got the syndrome mongi or make them that the syndrome take. Ni sidong ri ni sidong ge ngor mo mo thola go se do ani trabaten de jul sa sho te che de gemme ge rogang ga alo je traba ta je ken ro kan ba da alo je ne yi ne bu tong ye cha jin da se ne do yi ne bu chi ji no sa song je ken ken ge ba ku je ma de pe da da mar so pe 생기 메케 바타 보romza toba jayan다 저 다들 맞다 이제는 배 맞잖아 맞아 저갈 때는 저가게 나서 재밀 찌제그 맞다 자고 말아 안 고치 맞잖아 점벨은 어떤 렌동 거 고치 맨날.
So the Chinese had even planned to kill His Holiness, by extending him an invitation, but then people in the know knew about it, and they advised His Holiness not to go. At that time, the Chushi Gangdrug volunteer force had already been organized, and they were resisting in a place called Zethang, where the Chinese had made bunkers and were inside a hill. And when it was decided that His Holiness would leave, in the Chushi Gangdrug, it was announced that whoever owned a good horse or a good gun, he would have to go and escort His Holiness. But unfortunately, though I had a good gun, I had a horse that could hardly walk, so I could not go to escort him. And we were told that if there was time, every one of us would get a good audience of His Holiness, but the situation was, was very grave, and there was no time, If had there been a delay of even a day or two, the Chinese bombed Nobulinka and killing a lot of monks and people, and they did so not knowing that His Holiness had left Nobulinka already. And then I heard that when they shelled the palace, the shells did not burst open, but they fell on the trees, which fell, killing many people underneath. And later it was said that since so many bodies were there inside, the Chinese went and overturned all the bodies which were of the monks, wearing monks' robes, searching for His Holiness. But thankfully, His Holiness had escaped. Had he not escaped, our leader, to India, then the Indians would definitely have handed us back over to the Chinese.
So, you wanted to join the Chushi Gangdrug if you had a horse and a good gun, but you didn't have a good horse, so you couldn't travel with His Holiness out of India. Is that correct?
Gela to do gane Chushi Gangdrug na le zu pe cha ina khande na ta ya bu me menda ya bu yo sung du gane
The Chugonde Dayor.
zu char ba
Third, that?
Gela Chushi Gangdrug na la zu char be di kabla
Zutzen. The thing at the Chugon the Carson, Trasalon, at the Gaden Trabas Samjat in Yamdu. Did the Shimochi, Shimo Sabati, that in Jumbo cook it to me, Tanga to get in Lapum do Trabat Chukon and Rongi and also Yamden Road, got it on in a tongue. Or Mingo Samjat is the tongue in China. This I don't want to Chukon the patch. But they didn't have to plug in road, they did. Chukon to get the tongue, the Loma J. Kadu. But the Kundoma J. Kubil test. They didn't answer it. Begin in Sensalis in Rojim, but the Kibala to the Matos. Yomara.
Menda yomare
Don't put up Minda Yomara. The Julie meant that his young family situation.
I was already in the Chushi Gangdrug at that time because there was a commander who announced at the Gaden Monastery that whoever wanted to join the Chushi Gangdrug should come, and I was among the 300 monks who went to Tsetang, but at that time we didn't have a gun, but later I was given a gun.
When did you how did you I'm going to back up a little bit in your history. You were in a monastery near your village, right?
No.
From the very beginning. Which monastery was he in? Which monastery were you in?
Gela thangbo gomba phesa de ming khain go tawla agula shusa gomba de ming la khare nyamsu gomba Tawu nyamsu gomba. So first he was in Tawu nyamsu gomba in his village, and then joined Gaden Monastery in Sera, which is like a very long distance.
So you went right from the village monastery near your village to Gaden in Lhasa. In Lhasa. How long why did you decide to go to Gaden?
Thangbo gela Tawu nyamsu gomba na la yorwa, and te phege la shu yudu gane Gaden la ne kharicheni phevre.
대신에 자살은 로네 기술롱게 돈바슈네 잡아치고다. 페일리 요네데 잡아 기술을 봐. 라마 차고요나. 자살 로섬 데니 페일 마친. 페일 마친이 되니 gem미세니 gem미게 야고 마친이 gem미 독자치도. 되니 양 야치도요네 되니 거간을 노론자야요. Gaden Jangtse de Julie control de tennis control change.
When I was in the local monastery, I was just novice monk, and then I came to the Gaden Monastery to be ordained as a monk. I was there for 3 years, and then I went back to the village, but at that time the Chinese had already arrived, and so I escaped and came back to Gaden, and from Gaden I joined the Chushi Gangdrug.
And what year would that have been about?
1959, almost 59. The second time,
yes.
The first time was 1956.
Right.
Yeah.
So that would have been about
1955,
maybe.
Okay. Yes.
I was 30 when I finished. 3 years before, I was in Gaden, and the Chinese arrived. So that would have been like 1957.
Yeah.
Maybe you were in Gaden, 1957. And did many of the monks from Gaden join the Chushi Gangdrug?
Gaden ge thaba mangbo Chushi Gangdrug nal zuru ekela.
다 데블 섬자서 양대 돈을. 근데 리트 이제 근데 용에 더 뭔가 정해야 돼. 때문에 가다 충고 생기지요. 가다 충고 잡아 됐어요. 공부 잡아 망쳐봐 쉬고는 돼. 말대로 또 재미가 다 간지 자기 말와 고스토르가. 근데 대발 정도 공부지요. 공부도 그렇게 되잖아. 야고요 말이 쉬고 용내 떨어지세요. 대출공도 영세지 따바가듯이 친구랑하셔야면도 어디 공부 또네. 그 공부도 또네 쓸 때는 대만설을 민다. 사야도 어떤지 사도 맞다.
So at one time, I know there were 300 of us that joined the Chushi Gangdrug together from Gaden Monastery, but there were others who came gradually, And there was a monastery called Gaden Chokoling, and most of their monks had also come to join the force. And there was an armory in this monastery, which they said, the Chushi Gangdrug should come and collect the weapons. And then after the Chushi Gangdrug had received weapons from this armory, that's when I received a gun.
어jul로 사시오니 당아서 작을 때때 영어 안정고보다시기 동부장가서에 공도를 굴리지 자르와 로치스 자르 되네 올로레야 동시 로레야 동데 Then America 계속 받치니. 어떤 남들 용냈다. 거기 사돌로. 어떤 남들 그 유대용 가지질로 소정 저도 지트니 남들을 다 때던데 하나는 사람을 내지 메빠야지 디간데지 빠기나 어디 된들더니 남들 용로도 어디 미디어 빠기도 남들 거라지 된 로그 남산 로그든 롤도 미드 세기도 대원 남들 거 걸려도 미디어 빠지고도 어디 지드니 맞아 팀이 빠져 가도 되더니 근데 거라지니 콜란다르데서 유고도 coração de tentação yudo teni jogo ati cola chalo ngar tsamma anru gobadesi setengamba sijingamba shibal igil maga matsugo nendbani tetme ripa yongi takatra american le sobsan chika tondwa ta ngar tsammi manjin shingi yomara yemin de ya long english menda jago kaji tristan ai he zendo ta julu yige teni satolin jamnin roya to teni avlo janin roya ndabo to tamne ota jeni mammi gulurginda jeni manje zonda de shen.
So after we came to India, Antu Komputashi, a very great man, he sent us to Mustang, where there was American help. We saw airplanes flying overhead, and some people were given the duty of making a signal by making a fire, around which the airplane circled over 3 times and dropped the weapons, and after they had gone, we would go and collect the weapons. And then people were also sent abroad to get training in warfare. Earlier, what the Tibetans used to do was stand straight up and shoot at the Chinese, which was not the right thing, or run towards them carrying the swords. But then later we learned to lie low on the ground, roll over, and such trainings were given to us.
What was it like to go from being a monk for 20 years to becoming a soldier?
Gyala thangbo ta gombenalia chabaji chini shuruala. Ta dijela mangmi ji charwa menta kimdongeji. Ani khande dawish to chabane mangmi le gyurwa ta. Ani khande dawish tsowa chungyuna gyala la.
Ta utu ta sijin dijimene ta jambil lakheya de yomarte ta toqad ta kolonun daji kini ta te cherwa ma ta 이게 산산로 요때 이제는 그 보ronzane 렌터고 말이야 맞아 다 저렇게 jambil 자신이 때 밀 자신이 초야 말이야 마만 텐션스네 어딘데 송아리 때 마음이 강강 오는데 맨다 네팔에 뜨제쇼 센테 마음이 좀 오고 맨다 따지 마트에 이제는 복가래다 어디니 네팔에 강가마테 이게 리지군 걸로 군독에 막 정거는도 정거되는 다와치스 시작 어디 되니 자야메티 르드타 비샤다 데츠 요르다 아니 심지어 요가안로 이걸 심지어세 줄을 때니 맞아 대주 소양도 왔다네 가지 돌아도 마음이 동서 뭐죠 돌아도 마음이 맞아 좀 돌아들 수요 말 맞추도 되는데 발로 다른사람이 어떻게 돈 비달르게 레가를 돈 그 비달르 레가 세상에네 아마 가지고 저기 되는데 맞지 c'est dans le technique on est dans le Tibet 어다 자연 통야 나 멤버 설도 어다서 공부하고 다 괜찮던 내가 지고 말이 많이 칼라자야 되겠다. 수수 칼라자 말이나 좀 전이 만드나 답선의 자간도 처리. 한 답선의 칼라자게 매 수수 칼라자는 수수도 봐요. 대사 좋은데. 답선의 칼라자는 마치 양인데 마치 약부지는 칼라 약부지도 도와드리네. 라지마다 쇼고 제도 달 그게 정확하게 된 제달 디자인이 도움이 되는 거. 라지마든 슈침보다 야보여서 맞아 바주롱 거는 말이 슈침보고 하면 되는 거. 디자인이 도움이 돼. 어디는 수수 non 칼라자.
So it was out of desperation that we took up arms, and though we could not, we were not in a position to overcome the Chinese, but we had to do our bit. And then later, His Holiness the Dalai Lama said, that we should withdraw arms because there was no way that we could gain independence for Tibet in that way. So we had to surrender our guns to the Nepalese, and all the soldiers were crying as they surrendered their guns. And the Nepalese, they put us in a prison upon a hill for a month. And at that time we had a lot of problem because we didn't have anything to eat, and though we did have money, then we went to buy animals to kill and eat. And later most of the prisoners there were sent to Dehradun, the Indian Army in Dehradun. And but I didn't join the Indian Army, but I joined the road construction crew in Patlikul, and from there His Holiness's sister brought me to Dharamsala. And now I have a good house to stay thanks to the old people's home of the Tibetan Children's Village. And I have good food to eat, and I lead a very happy life here.
Why was there His Holiness's sister? How did she know you personally, or was she bringing many people here?
And gala Patlikulaya and Lamsun nang Bekablea and Hajam Kusho Penny, Gala Tsuti Yungrua, Dharamsala Leya. Gala Ngo King Yore, Yami Mangpo Chalatin.
Men Mongbu cool. I take Mammin and Matsuko Ganga Tati say as well.
Sang Mangbutin.
Rel. Did Amalagi di Jolo Titong Chimbojindua, the read of Dojerindua. Or there's the payment of it back the Thompson.
So there were many people that His Holiness sister brought here, because our task was, to create the playground for the school, which was earlier a hill.
Right, I see.
Amalayo, that they told the Zotat. Tak not top Lekalia Kulu Yomar, that did the Zichal Doyaji Donson. Tanda Zichal and Doya, the Zichal and Dogormata, the Chamanduna, Ma Temple Lekate Yomar, say Sonson. It's somebody Chenjo can get into Zichal change. Tamatan of Pala, Mata the Pala Sasio. Pala Kashitak is a Sinjaka and this is how you did it. Mata Milong Koyan Tambazaka, that low Chong Gulu, Zichada, Dinjo Master, Tagging go chat project, Zicha, Maria. Zichan do me. Milong Koyan Tambazaka, Yuri, Sanitaire. They did Mato Kashi Machin, no Kashi Pusan. Then you Kashi the Bachi. Only a kind of carriage. Zulumat and Machin on the Chokutara, and there. They can so right? Tanda Kisor, the combat. Shall Tapson, Chu Ganga Nolo, your Cholo Lincoln Rogama, Tati Chukon, Ganga Nolo. So
after the creation of the playground, His Holiness Sister said that I cannot continue to keep on giving you work. So now you all have to go and settle in the settlements around India. And some of the people, they did go, but I was sort of very obstinate, and about 20 to 30 of us who were like me, we refused to go to the settlement because we said, when we were young, we did not go there. Now we are old, so why should we go there? We can survive anywhere. So she employed some of us as cooks in the school, and then later from a cook I became a watchman, and now after I retired from being a watchman, I live in the old people's home, leading a very happy life with all facilities available.
When I think back on your story, I wonder if you ever wondered what it would have been like if you had been in the party that escorted the Dalai Lama. Do you wish you had had a horse so you could have been in that party?
Kyamgur Rinpoche thanda true pewe tuzu jiyorwa dinala Chushi Gangdrug mangmi cholia ta yakpo ta menda yakpo yunge tunzu ani Kyamgur Rinpoche nani di chu dende shugo res shuga do chog res la dugane tha di kable ya gen la le ya menda yakpo june ta yakpo mindwa la di chen ta handa gen la ge tu la yarwa chi tidu kane ngala ta yakpo jiyo bi na nga Kyamgur Rinpoche ge ani de nyamdo la chu jaria ra yo res tinde di korlane gen la khari tengi duesa peya rayo marwata taya pomets. No comments about that.
Okay. When you were in the Chushi Gangdrug, were you ever in a battle? Did you have to fight to defend yourself in any circumstances?
Gyala Chushi Gangdrug nang la shube kable ya di gemile ya ma jinggo ya jabu tinde ki tuzu chungsue ma jing
Gemiden ali titong lo koron lo matam mambo shore gemi mambo se tore 동부 콩반을 용했지 동 드바 콩바 언니를 가서 다티 콩바 또 손들이 민도서 다 템버지 산도 재미가 선네 된 재미 돼요 콩바
열룽라 말와 열룽라 말와
말 제통 코로나 제통 코로나 다디 군도 콩반을 댕이 뜻서 보다 또 콩바지다 밀게는 봐 재미 빼다 다 이게 Жиденде доннати юрити, жидел копален 댕이데서 다도토여 말아. 줄 사쇼데 여거도 만들어 물증이 뒤뒤지 건서 중에. 되게 이제는 뭐 주변 농아도 하면 건 이제는 뭐 그냥 뭐 다시 줘요 말아. 아주 담 개치 줘. 아니 잠문은 커지 마다도 제기가 마사데 개수정이 또 이제 공부를 듣듯이 가시기 빠르게 빠르다. 어디 제상마다.
개미냠도 증서디 제탕을 증르외게.
그래 제탕.
아네 다다지 캉바직 송소 가래나. 캉바직 매겹을 송소디.
예미그 공부. 예미그 다도 친구들이 공부도 그렇서 선낼 때는 마음이 된다. 콩바 니 따고 니들 콩바 빠르잖니요.
캉바니.
다들 콩바 맨데 정말 심도. 어디 맞을 렌터다.
아니 그렇지.
바저리 코발을 용해도 렌터요 말. 재미도 단다. 부 사쇼 찬이 이길 당해서 롤 산자를 데려와. 그때 아직이 다 맨다몽보 유 밤자야 요르 람바유야 요르 메토 요르 어때데 재미를 따는 시부지 터서 재미게 Jawu said, the Jakanzan said, the Jamaican Magandua, Tig resent the Sapagini Kangua. And Mammy Jakan and the resent of the Chimjera Tangatul Zaya Europa. Tizamatu Zaya men Tombo Simjan says Simjan Shaza, Papa the Nimakam, the Pepsi Jajo, the Zaya Mewut, Papa Tombo Chino Bon, Pogo Trigger shirt. Then Papa stop. Only what is journey? Okoa Sajet and get to Chong Tasaya Mewut. Was I just on a Pipi Chan, Shimbu doesn't do a this one goes in the Tune Zag and Nasan in the Cell.
So we did have an encounter at a place called Setang, and there was a lot of deaths on both the sides, and there was a family house at that place which had been occupied by the Chinese troops, and we were able to capture this house, set it on fire, killing the Chinese within. But we were not able to get those Chinese that were hiding inside the hill. And after we lost Tibet and we were based in Mustang, and when we received weapons from the Americans, we were able to do a lot of damage to the Chinese. There was a Chinese army camp at a place called Tawu, and we ambushed the provisions that were being transported to them, and we were able to get something to eat for many days, because at that time we had, very scanty food, and we used to kill animals for their meat, and then we would, after eating the meat, we used to, dry the skin, but a time came when we also had to eat the leather. We shaved the hair away from the skin, and then we boiled the skin, and it became quite tasty. But if one were to eat leather now, it's impossible.
What did you feel when His Holiness said, "We cannot achieve democracy through violence"? What was your reaction to that? And when he said to put down your guns?
Tuzuchikla the Kamgurumuchi Kalo Pedukane, Tanganzu Rangze, Mazing Tobia Yomaris, Tamenda Dunzia, Teshus, Lanikaluk Pebra, Dicabla and Galage, and Carigong Suesa.
That Sambanalas Talum Payamata Zinci. That Tabanga to Kabli Germany in the Sojo Tonk. Yet the Tatan Danjo Mason. That is in the Bokan, Matheron. Then move on and Mushajan, the thing I meant that the Brinke. Then Nisitanga Drogdua, Carlin this mat. America, Robert. Oh, digital. Nepali Mami to Menda Tilling in Sayer. Quando Mami to the Pigilon dead in doctor, after being like it. I don't bong as a mal take the long tabudon, ching or get tabuda yori. Like I don't bong as a delay. That morning was setting this year. But Mami to the shell in the part. Pass the digital. Then Mendagan got it. 가시기 안 받던 적이 가가칼 사월을 배 걔를 제 맞더니 병이에요. 당아서요 구발인도 아마도 그거 빈이 자잖아. 잠자 판토스 그거 배 마셔
Naturally, I was very sad. I felt up till now so many of us have sacrificed our lives, but now everything has been futile. But then, of course, we must obey the words of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and I was quite an aggressive person. And when the Nepalese soldiers came to take away our guns, at that time I owned a good gun, which took about 25 bullets, and I was so sad and so angry, I threw the gun down and the Nepalese soldiers, they jumped away and then I was howling.
Oh.
And some of my friends, they were smart enough not to surrender their guns, but they buried the guns. But I was quite stupid. I didn't think of that.
What do you think of the young people who are immolating themselves now in Tibet?
Ta tring khaza phö nang le re ta dwa le re lo shön shön den de so ni sopo la ya me gyap chi do a gen la and di kor la gen la ni khari kong ge na thula
다 녀지도 우투 그래서 또 거기다 두부 똥똥 얘기 되게 우투네 다 롱시 저기 여러 마다지 가르치는 식으로다 기부지에는 시급 말아서 롱시 저기 말아 또그 두부단이 또 그래서 밤마 벤자든지 재미기 써줘도 된지 이런 쓰겠지 수수 우투 그래서 다 대부분 지소들이 편통민원 센터 롱시 저기 여러다 대다 농촌에 다 수수 롱시된 롱시 저기 재미가 뺀부터 독자 나천데 독자 또 세트니 신나 거기 자지 세트로 나오고 뺀부지 마음이 센나 판토요 말이야 뺀부 친구도 정말 우진토세도 텐션 피세야 뭐든지 뭐 근데 가고 또 리턴나 모두시다 시차로 갖고 이제 걱정했다. 모두시다 신이 대지 장나든 저와 대지 친구가.
So poor things, they are doing it out of desperation because they are suffering so much under their rule. Well, who would do such things if they are in a happy situation? Perhaps their parents or their relatives might have been killed, and they are doing it with a hope, that their dying would help the cause of Tibet. But I think it is a mistake to take one's life. The best thing, if possible, would be to kill one of those Chinese leaders. Mm-hmm. And not the ordinary soldiers, but one of the leaders like, Wu Jintao or Deng Xiaoping, of course, but Mao is dead.
So, how do you think Tibet should get its freedom?
Ta gyala gi tu la gong ya la rwa ta nga zu phe rang che countries chini ta ra thu res ra gu gor ta nga zu la
다 보는데 라 커버 갑데도 두잖아 갑데도 진저한테 진 좋네 약보다 차나 롱데라 쓰기로 나왔다 그 인심이 그 삼바든 저가 좀 좋고 그러다 된 잠벨린 괜히 때문에 데미지 맞도 괜는도 하지 잠벨리게 로파치네 지도를 봐 잠벨리게 로 컨트롤 롱 때고요 저도 맞힌데 지하고요 때마저는 드리메스 되는지 라나 컨트롤 신데 맞으면 이제 차를 봐 그 분이 그것도 선데 분이 그것도 올리는 세요 그것도 올리면 제가 봐 아직 둘로게 동동 컬러자 동동 가차셔야 동 강게 돈이 로카로 돈 야도 부 가가스 부가 빼는 자자일지 부 롱일지 세 자거스 장나롱바도 기비 볼려는데 가신 차안에 빠이 시대에 모두도 차치니까
It is very difficult to gain our independence because of our opposition who is so bad, to be able to regain independence, they must have a change of heart. And the world is just watching and not helping us. If the world would tell them to withdraw, then Chinese would have to do that. and they say that Tibet is under China, but Tibet and China are different countries. Look at the way we dress and our food and our language. Everything is different. And Tibetans are happy in Tibet, and Chinese will be happy in China.
Mm-hmm. Were there any typical techniques that the Tibetan soldiers used, the Chushi Gangdrug, as they were approaching the Chinese soldiers? If they didn't have guns, what were they using?
Chushi Gangdrug이 다 미카실라다 멘다 요르다 이네 창말 멘다 라요 마로아. 타지 개미 망미 판에지 용서 통도간에 수술이야 멘다 맵이 이나로와. 이네 칸데스 처음 주고요래. 가리키니 처음 주고요래.
저 맞다 요 말와. 다 저던네. 되는 맞어. 군족이 수송 되게. 근데 멘다뭐 가리잖아. 수송 되게 겸니 루불 알리 멘다 고금인도와. 수대지 nhập선나 남자 루불 포기할 때 샤를 주고 말. 둘로 어콘도 둘로 안 봐놓는 다른 거 정관이서 가실려 어디 누세. 그래서 만산 잡았대. 네. 그래서 다 삼바 말지하게 답에 신하십선데 듣더니 준조기로. 된 저때 와서 녀지 단데때 야로자 다시 야미 게템부 심보체를 미토가 템부 치서체를 그런 맹 야미까지 세기는 뭐지 안중 뭐버다시게 걸로 두성 다시 땅 안중 뭐버다시게 따져 콜페 안중 뭐버다시게 이체지 근데 고용 빼 뭐니 돈이 그 몰로 지역이 점산도 가르쳐서나 그 자나를 knowledge 친도와 knowledge 자나를 볼 knowledge 된데 두다 지리서라 거기 놈이 간가 쌤이 바바마 투면도 쌤 되게 되네 야용 됐던 때 어디할 때 2,000명이 처음에 그 뱀버릴 때 지동 되는 가서 된생이 되는 그 하성 이 별소로 이 별소로 그래서 근데 그 인지는 저는 나한테 로컬명에서 다 지기로 다시 그 시행도 로컬명도 세기로 부백이 som통도 고발은도 또 아니까 만세만용게 고발을 상을 넣어 봐. 리젠이 된쟁인데 다 해서 좀 이제 잡다 통과 되게 범범 보여는 뭐마 요정아서 이제 하는 통과신이 지금 다다 주의공도 용서 되는데 루소 정하여를 다 지동 가서 지동 급자래 지동 앞자래
지금 곱게.
되게 되는 재미가 되면 산다는데 간디스 잡았다 어느 산다는데 고바 기산을 연도 빠 재미 뱀 범만 보여 내리게 추니선 그 그때 대통령이 있나라 라케 누가
So we only possessed swords, but we had our protective amulets to protect us. And even if the Chinese shot at us, the bullets did not pierce into our body, but they tore our clothes and then fell into the pouches of our dress. And we were so filled with rage. We used to brandish our swords and run towards the Chinese. And there was one Chinese official who had defected to the Chushi Gangdrug, and I don't know his Chinese name, but after he joined the Chushi Gangdrug, Antu Gombutashi gave him the Tibetan name of Lobsang Tashi, and Antu Gombutashi had great faith in this man. The reason he had defected was because once he had gone home to China, and there he saw that whatever was happening in Tibet, the same thing was happening in China, and his parents and many had been killed, and that's why he lost faith in his government. And he used to tell us that we should not, fight the way we were doing, but that we should, crawl down upon the ground. But, Tibetans are stupid and we had no knowledge about fighting. We thought, going down on the ground was being timid. Yes, if you think deeply, one to one, we could have got anyone, but there were more than 100,000 Chinese, and how many Chushi Gangdrug people, guerrillas were there? Only about 100 to 200, or maybe even 1,000. But how could we have withstood the might of the hundreds of thousands of Chinese soldiers?
Yeah, exactly. So do you think if the Chushi Gangdrug had continued to fight, that what would have happened if His Holiness had said, "Oh no, keep fighting"? What do you think would have happened in Tibet?
다 channel와 다 경고를 붙인기 깔롭 딘데 페메나 다 마징 스탕아주 랑진 딘데 channel 라고 말해 송 추슈간도 다 마라 징니 데디요나 게라 엔직 channel 아주 가리 중요나
다 진진 데데는 삼바 그 공격이 되려마다 기본 영향스 지요 말을 왔다. 배나를 이길 요때 데데 맞죠. 그 고아트니 자고야 좀 전샤르더니 된다고는 누구 영향하지마도 기분 영향이 요 말을 봐. 볼내 로토고 말해. 답반지는 좀 리제 쇼네 텐디고 뇽리 줘야 맞다. 재미는 가졌잖아 거기. 다리 야대 프로세스잖아. 손이 지경할 때 지경할 때도 생각 들을 먼저 때. 그 아니 콜라는 다질니 콜로조야 맞은 다 조조조지. 줄 아메리카 그룹아지다 오체요 다지 영원히 돈. 다 겨니 겨케는 조지요. 맞은 거만 안다 겨요는 다 하시부지 건동도지. 다 겨토서는 살더니 개빠졌다냐다.
So I know that continuing to fight would be just to minimize our rage, but there would have been no result, because there was the time when we were reduced to eating leather, and still continue to fight would have meant more suffering, and because we would not have been able to go back to Tibet, and Tibetan people are less in number, and every day one or two would have been killed, whereas in the case of the Chinese, if 100 Chinese troops came today and you were able to kill all of them, 500 would come tomorrow, and in the same way there would be no end to their population, and we were less in number.
Mm-hmm. And so rather than diminish the population all the way, you believe it was better to stop endangering Tibetan lives and pull back.
Dindes chene jingde yo ba yina ta pheba nyungru mashtoya yo marwa kala ta dindes digana ta takpa rish jingni mireri nyiri seni pheba nyungru dobale ta chiden gyabshana ta yakshu chungyo chu chiden gyabadigi
그 가정에 맞아 다 배대지 용이 다 홀은 포론자 타야도 포론 야야는 판도 말아 이게 같은 지나라 멤버 모년도 돈에 약간 돈제 좀 그런 게 제일 라케야 말아 대체에서 그가 소야도 동안도 같이 있는 저 콜라지 때기도 줄 때선이 산 건데 당연히 제샤 이전에 복용을 줄 때선 15돈.
So it was best to withdraw, because our continuing to fight would have brought no help to the cause of Tibet, and there was no way that we could have withstood their might, and when I look back now, I think His Holiness was right and we did the right thing.
이제는 보긴 텐시서 때때 파시도서 다다바컬리게 다 걸리게 된단 좀 마서 다 걸리게 하고 돌아가서 저 컨트롤되게 선반에 대 생기도 다 들어서는 선 동데 다 국박이 선을 정도 단 제인의 퀄리티 야네미 말 전문이 영어들도에 맞춰 주요 다 이제는 보컬데 이제는 보게 돼 소야도 옆에서 와서 때 깔세는 생겨야 다다지 디션은 강가다지 치마댕에 종창에서 잘 못도 단단하지 이게 네 기습이 이게 게임 나라 가시지요 일단 뭐 제가 다시 잘하는 거예요. 그래서 자유형이 좀 디션스 대여로 어떤 데가 영에 되었지 게임을 수준에 대여로 간 거예요.
So
다시 지면자 가도 지금 부분다 연이어서 좀 이제 member mobile charter.
So at that time we did not know to think well, So when we were told to stop, there was a rage within us, thinking that, our struggle so far has been in vain. But, we were stupid and we didn't think properly. And there was no way that we could overcome them by fighting, and we did the right thing by obeying the word of His Holiness. And now some of us are here, and some have gone to settle in the settlements. They have married and they have multiplied.
Sweet. What do you think is important that the next generation of Tibetans, wherever they are, that they save about Tibet? What do you think should continue to be preserved about the country of Tibet?
shunu tanganzu lochunga peba lochunga yorwa ta koran chugi nganji pebe tendaliya karila sungyap chigu yoris kongudwe sekyanlagi
다 개추주 섭정야부 지고야 되겠다. 섭정야부 맞지는 감사하고 국가 지나니까 섭정야부 지나 언니 사람들 가리나 지통도 지턱을 봐. 누구 다 섭정도 개추주래. 섭정 홀다 받다지 삼바도 성부 상도 동 이전에 국가 먼저 내려 삼반 나고지야 기상도 되네.
So the most important thing for them is to, get educated. If they are educated, they can think well and they will not be stupid like us. And they must also obey the words of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and think of not harming anyone.
Why is not harming anyone an important teaching?
Mi shembaliya ta tukja chigyo mari sunguyorwa ta di ta nangba sangye gi chue chigirwa di ke chimburwel
네. 삼바 성부지에도 개 추셔지르다 개 추셔. 삼방간바 밀로산나 저와서 보롱랑 콜사. 다지 밀로 삼바도 나고서 산노도나 수술 독자지 영야 임버와. 다 제미요 칼리칼리 급다 통데리 칼린다스나 콜. 삼바 나고 마르 다같이 지고 콜지 고수주 로스기로 같이.
So if whatever harm you do to others, the same is bound to come back to you. And then there will come a day when the Chinese bluff will also be revealed.
When you say that, whatever harm is done to you will come back to others.
Whatever harm
you do will come back to you. Is that what you would call karma?
The semba nyemba mila chena anis jela susulo khorkiri laya jorwa ta dinganzu le gyumdres na ta dirwan, right?
Okay. Okay. Well, Gela, thank you so much for this interview and for your time and for your wisdom and for your prayers. It looks like you are still praying for the world and all the sentient beings.
다들 칸도에
켈라
칸도 para사요다.
켈라 딘델라 언제 숨고도 아니 다른 켈라 데 페르와 데 페니 켈라 게 루규 숨바다 아니 간줄라도 발라 부불롭 된다 안데 다메데 망고 야포 숨숨스와 엔 켈라 멜람 탄다 탄다 켈라 덴바 된난기 요사레사 엔 돈주 포라레 투지 치슈야 인라서
그치.